Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Backyard Gardens podcast. This one and the next few are only on YouTube for right now, so we hope you enjoy. We wanted to keep it going on YouTube while we took our Christmas break. So, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you'd like to support the Backyard Gardens podcast, you can do so by becoming a subscriber, a patron, or buying some seeds. Use the code YBBBB, available until February 15th to get a discount on the seeds. Okay, I'm trying to go fast because we're trying to keep this one short. So the idea behind this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Batavia, the idea is to create a synergy inside of your garden right now where we're going to get all cylinders firing, right? And get everything going so we can have a productive garden and really get it going in the right direction. But we got to get these pieces and parts put together.
And this isn't like we've broke the code. This is the first time you've ever heard these things, but I find it's helpful to kind of package some of these, you know, important subjects together. And then sometimes it just serves as a reminder. I say all the time there are things that I read and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a definite thing that I wanted to do or that I need to continue to do. So we are just tickling your fancy on all the things that you should know
Yeah,
when it comes
absolutely.
to what's important about gardening.
Absolutely. And I think the idea here is not necessarily that it's something new, but what we're trying to do is lay it all out for you in a concise way. Well, as concise as the Backyard Gardens podcast can be. I mean, let's be honest, but let's try and be concise here and really get it so that everything is going and you can put the pieces together. Because it's just like Batavia said, and I agree with you completely. There's been a lot of times in my garden where I've been like, man, I wish I would have done that, or something like
Hmm.
that. So it's really important. So we don't want to waste a lot of time. Clearly, we don't, because that would not be good. So the idea is what we're going to talk about in the first, and there's going to be the goal here is to have 5 of these. We'll see if we get there. How's that?
I
But
appreciate you giving us a little bit of room there.
look, I've learned my lesson about making promises that I can't keep.
Mhm, mhm,
But the first one is we want to focus on the timing of everything,
mhm.
and why is that so important? Timing, in my opinion, is everything in the garden, as I've been learning in the past couple of years, and I'm trying to pass on the people that watch Sandy Bottom Homestead and listen to Backyard Gardens podcast. But why do you think timing's so important, Batavia?
Well, I think it impacts everything that we do in the garden, whether we consciously realize it or not. And so I think that if we're just kind of operating with the idea of timing being important, I think you'll have more successful luck when it comes to what you're growing, when you're growing it, and then what you actually get out of your garden, as it relates to harvest. So, I mean, I think it makes the happier garden and happier gardener.
Yes, I agree with that completely. I mean, and this is something that a lot of people struggle every year with is timing.
Mhm.
It's a really hard thing to get down pat. And as we go through, the goal of this too is there's a number of these are going to kind of feed into the other. So just hang with us. The next one we'll probably elaborate a little bit on. But timing can be something where you can be right on time, you can be a little
Mhm.
late, and
Yeah.
the garden can be forgiving to an extent. But what we really want to focus on here is how can we get the timing right and get things going at the right time so that we're not struggling and we're not suffering through the garden season, and honestly not wasting valuable growing time, because we do have a clock. No matter where you are, you've got a clock inside of your garden based on how much time you have to grow.
Yeah, I think it's really easy just to make a general assumption of when we talk about timing, it's, oh, when you're planting something. And it's that, but it goes beyond that. It actually starts earlier than that, right? So, getting your timing right when we're starting seeds will impact getting your timing right when you are planting something out. That's going to determine the size of seedling and potentially the health as well that you have going out into your garden. So that's one of the first critical steps, right? I could even trying to stay under time, no pun intended. I could even go back to say when it comes to ordering your seeds, there, I'm still, can still
Oh,
hear
you're
me.
frozen.
So even when it comes Okay. So I was saying, even if you go a step further back, when it comes to even ordering seeds, getting your timing right, how many times have you had, oh, shoot, I wanted you to grow this particular thing and I'm out of seeds? So I could even take a step back when it comes to getting timing right for planning for your garden to order seeds, getting the timing right when it comes to starting your seedlings, and then ultimately getting your timing right when it comes to planting out. It doesn't stop there though.
No, it really doesn't. And I mean, it's funny. I didn't even think about it right off the bat, but it is important to realize that when you're ordering your seeds, I mean, it's important to get that timing right as well, which by the way, if you want to order seeds, you can do so from us. Link is below. But yeah, you don't want to get stuck without having the seed that you want. That's the important part. And so the thing with it is most plants need to be started about 8 weeks before they go outside. So, if you're putting something outside in April, you're starting in February. And if you're starting in March, you're starting in January. And if you're starting to put them in the ground in February, you're starting them in December. So you can see that it takes a fair amount of planting to get everything right. And that's something that we need to work on as a community, I think, because what we'd think of as warm is not necessarily warm.
Hmm.
We're used to sitting in a 68-degree house, 60, some odd degree house and being like, oh, it's nice and comfortable. But these plants don't think like that. So
No.
getting them started early enough, and it seems crazy too, because it seems like you don't really get any downtime.
Yeah.
You're
True.
you're going right back into it. But that's kind of, I mean, that brings up the question of, is gardening a lifestyle or a hobby? And I think it's both.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree that it's both. I think as you watch this episode, if you're watching it shortly after it airs, like I'm getting my grow area set up to get seeds started within a matter of weeks, right? And so, young Ben talked about most, seeds you want to get started about 8 weeks before you plan on getting them outside. There's some that could be as much as 12. We haven't even touched on flowers, which we won't dig into here. Some of them need more time. And so, also accounting for maybe some mishaps when you're getting seeds started, all of that matters. If we're just taking it by the season going into spring, for every season, you should be hardening your crops off, your transplants off before you plant them outside. But especially when you're bringing these from that 68 or 70-degree Fahrenheit house out into that spring weather, you also want to make some time for hardening those things off before they're planted. All of that has to be factored in, and you should be plotting that timeline out prior to the moment you get there. So prior to planting them out, as we sit here now, what's the first thing that you're going to be getting started if you're starting things by seed? If you're buying transplants, that's just fine. When do you want to have those transplants purchased and then planted into the garden? This is why we talk about one of the most popular seasons is the planting season. This is
Yeah.
when we should be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is with the planting season is, first of all, get the planter app. That's all we're going to say about that. As far as planting goes, it really helps. But yeah, if you're purchasing seedlings, a lot of times what I find is either they put the seedlings out too early or too late. And so it's what we need to do. And I say this a lot on Sandy Bottom Homestead, but it's developing an intimate relationship with your garden. And in a sense, and I don't mean like going out there and doing the nasty with it or anything, but what I'm referring to is really getting your garden and understanding when things produce and how they produce and starting to get that timing down. I mean, it seems really stupid, but this is really a math equation that we're doing constantly. And once you start that math equation, you can kind of start to figure it out. One thing that
Yeah.
Batavia said that I do want to add, she said some plants need to be started 12 weeks ahead of time. And mostly what we're referring to are flowers and stuff like that. But peppers, I think, can really benefit off of a 10-week timeline. But there's some that need to get started a month and only a month. And so we got to be very careful about that. So you can see how when you start worrying about timing, everything works out, in its own way. But understand this, if you get your seed starting timing right, your seed starting shelf will not fill up as fast, and you will cycle
Mhm.
it all out. So you can, I'm going to go brave here and say you could double, triple, or quadruple the amount of seeds you can put on your seed shelf, and really do it because you're cycling them out and you're doing them in the right manner. So it really works out well.
Yeah, I think what Young Ben is also touching on is like we do hear feedback on all of the mediums about not necessarily having the space to get things started. And it's funny because I have two and actually had a third, what is it, five shelf unit when it comes to my shelving unit to get my seed started. This is when I was going to introduce more flowers. Young Ben has one single, seed tray or seed starting shelving unit, one. And when I see the amount that he produces from starting from seed to getting them out, it's all about the timing, right? Like things aren't staying on his seed starting shelf longer than they should because he needs to make room for the next thing. And that's really important. I think it's hard to imagine, especially if you're a couple of years into this, a few years into this, like what you can produce, but know that we're examples of hundreds and hundreds of plants that could come out of a small space. One last note, I think the challenge that a lot of us face is the amount of time that we want to dedicate to this. You don't need, it's not a 40-hour a week job when it comes to, getting this timing right. Starting seeds as one example. That's not it. It's just being committed to the timeline that you've put forth. And to be honest and fully transparent, I've personally struggled with that, but I know that that's the key, right? This is all about what are some of the keys to success in a garden. This is one of the most critical ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because time timing is one thing, but time to do it is something totally different.
Mhm.
And what I can say too is if you're doing timing and you're getting everything going and you're taking your time doing it, what it becomes is instead of a mad rush, it's more of a consistency thing where you're doing it and you're working on it and things are really moving in the right direction. So it's like you do 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow, something like that. Instead of an hour or 2 hours at a time, you're going to start splitting it up and it's going to make it a lot easier for you. So those are things that really work out as well. So it takes a lot of pressure off of the gardener to get things moving in the right
Mhm.
direction.
It definitely becomes more routine,
Yes.
right? Versus the, oh, I felt like doing this thing today,
Yes.
versus, hey, this is the time I need to do this thing, but I only need to spend 10 minutes on it, right?
Yeah. So we got a few minutes left, and I want to do the ultimate question of what happens if you miss your timing. So you've not planted things when you're supposed to, you've missed it completely. So how do we rebound from that? Does it mean you just stay the path and keep going? And I'm curious, Batavia, what is your take on that?
Yeah, it depends on your growing area, your climate in particular, and then the particular plants. So, as an example, if I miss my window for, planting broccoli in the spring, like the optimal window, I know that broccoli has sensitivity to, heat as we're going from spring to summer. I also know that kale can survive most conditions in my garden. I may sub in kale for broccoli. I know it's a completely different plant, but I still want to get something in the ground. I may look for a shorter days to harvest variety of broccoli if I don't want to give up on that. I think there are a couple of things that you can do. And obviously, the third probably would be picking up a transplant, right? Reaching out to people that you know that are getting things started to see if they have extras. You don't have to give up on that particular crop, if you've missed that window. And it could just be another reason for you to tighten up on that next schedule because we're not starting everything on the same date. There's a
No.
part of me that really wish we were, but we're not,
Oh, it'd be nice if you could
so.
just go out there and just bang out some seeds. I
Mhm.
will say, like for me, if I miss my window for broccoli, I might as well just not plant it,
Mhm.
just because it's so
Depends on the
sensitive.
variety.
Yeah, it depends on the variety and depends on everything else. But there's a deteriorating window
Mhm.
for you, and if you can get within that window, great. But if you're not within that window, then you may need to pivot, have
Mhm.
another plan, have another variety or something like that. But that's why it's important, I know Batavia has not been a fan in the past of creating a notebook or something, or, you know, she does a lot of spreadsheets, but having something set up for you so you can follow a plan. I personally do custom seed starting schedules. If you want one, you can use the email below and we'll get going on that. It's for a small fee. But, you know, that can help you as well. And even creating your own. You don't need to purchase one from me. You can create your own and just over time amend it, change it, make it better, and really get your plants going in the right direction. But
Yeah.
not so much for spring, but in summer, you can pivot with variety. And that's really
Yep.
important. And I'm going to leave it there because if I'm not mistaken, the next one, we're going to talk about varieties a little bit and then we're going to elaborate. So remember, I told you, these are all going to kind of feed into each other. So variety makes a big difference, but get your timing right. Do you have anything you want to tell everybody in closing about timing?
No. The time is now to get started.
Yeah, it really is. And that's why we're doing these now. So, well, that's it, everybody. If you want to support the show, you can do so by becoming a subscriber or a patron. You can also follow us on YouTube. That would be great. And purchase some seeds from us. Use the code YBBBB. Got all the B's right. Until February 15th to get yourself a discount, free shipping on $35 or more year round. And we've got a full line of seeds. So come check us out. And until next time, everybody, remember, we do two things here. We learn to grow and we grow for change.
See ya.